fuck, son. Oh, here it is. Never mind. Panic. Okay, let me review what. Okay, now what do I do with my phone? Oh, that's mine. I go, how's your phone running? That's my phone, you fool. Okay. What's that?
Please stream on Facebook. I still would wait till we have a decent guest.
I'm going to stream Facebook, not on a phone, no.
Unless there's a cold guest, which there is not.
Well, on YouTube? Oh, this is, oh my God, Pat, this is behind the scenes right now.
Oh, we're there?
Oh my God, I gotta.
Morning,
remember, we were told watch our mouths.
Right, the girl yesterday.
Kim was saying that as she was listening. I don't know what the deal is with her computer, but she's saying, I can't hear Dan. Dan's doing this, blah, and then this is showing up, and I'm hearing the music over this. I'm going like, everything. Yeah, and that's on the other side of the pond. Our British, our UK correspondent. We got to tell him if he sees any gigs over the weekend, report what's going on over there. You know, if the cloth top terrorists are taking over the fish and chip stands, you know. I know that shit's going on, man.
Japanese black helicopters.
Oh, gosh. Joanne, let's see. Okay. Joanne is our guest at 8 a.m. See ya at 8 fucking a.m., she said. Okay. I'll be there, Joanne. I mean, I'll be there. Of course I'll be there. I mean, yeah. Oh, God. I only had 2 sips of coffee. Ricochet. Bing, Ricochet Rabbit, man. Do you remember Ricochet Rabbit?
I know his name.
Yeah, back in the Clutch Cargo days.
Oh, no way. Long before me.
You've seen those Clutch Cargo cartoons, right?
I did.
That was a video effect. Remember, Conan O'Brien does that a lot, too. Remember?
Clutch Cargo is in Pulp Fiction. Oh, my old friend Paddlefoot.
Oh, yeah. If you work in the restaurant, what is your biggest pet peeve with customers? Oh, yeah. I like that Trisha Pryor Jansen. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Son of a bitch. I gotta get ready. Okay. Are we countdown? Okay, here we go. All right. Guess what time it is?
What time?
It's time for the Jeff Sargent Show. Only on Chaotic Radio.
Wake your ass up, Inland Empire. We are here.
And we're only an hour away from Hollywood. And we got plenty of places to park.
It's a really dumb catchphrase.
And you know what else?
Know what?
My mind went blank. I totally forgot.
27 days to Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is, said the camel. Hump Day! I'm so clever.
Well, Welcome to Rocktober.
And guess what? Pumpkin spice is in season. Pumpkin spice everything. Pumpkin spice cereal. Pumpkin spice pumpkins. Pumpkin spice bread. Pumpkin spice meat. Pumpkin spice hot dogs. Pumpkin spice underwear.
Wow. That's what you're starting us out with. You got shit in one hand, hope on the other. Let me know which one more.
You know, I wanted to be one of those droogies for Clockwork Orange, and I cannot find a jock strap anywhere. So they have those big ones, the big padded. Where can you? Do I got to go to England or go online to get a droogie Clockwork jock strap? Dan?
I don't know where you can find one. I'm not a big jock strap fan.
When was the last time you wore a jock strap? What about you, Patrick?
Junior high, Christmas junior high.
I remember I was at First Avenue Junior High, and this guy named Rusty Rudnick, his strap broke, and his junk was hanging out. Oh, Rusty's balls were just going around the track, and he didn't even know it. Everybody was laughing. The children laughed.
It's weird where your butt hangs out in the jock strap, but
Yeah, it's got the all it is like your butt cheeks. You got two straps around your butt.
yeah,
You got,
it's really gay.
it's so stupid. Like, okay, I'm going to do I got this new gay magazine. I'm doing a spread, and I'm wearing my jock strap. Oh, hey, oh yes, it's the Jeff Sargent Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Sargent. If you're listening for the first time, we have our co-host, Pat Janky Jankowitz.
Good morning.
And-
Theme song, it's still playing.
And we have Dan, the man, executive producer Dan, who holds this ship together, man. Not just for my show. I think he holds this whole station together, you know?
Speaking of which, we have a guest in the second hour.
Yes, we have a guest, a musical journalist, and she's going to explain more what she does, but she's involved with like every rock star, does the NAMM shows, does this music magazine from the San Gabriel Valley, Joanne Ledesma. She will be here, she said, 8 o'clock. You guys better be ready at 8 o'clock, because that's what I'm coming.
Call in 909-860-830.
And if you feel like you're a nobody and you want to be a star, if you want to be a celebrity, if you want a guest on our show and you're nobody, you will be a celebrity by the time you leave this studio. Is that true, Dan?
Yes, and then you have to invite another. It's like a chain letter. You have to invite another celebrity.
Yes. Or else what, Patrick?
Or else you'll really get it.
Okay, how did you stay up late last night? How's your coffee doing? Is it working for you,
It's
Patrick?
double strength and it will keep me up and at 'em.
Okay. Now, is this, when you do this nod, is it because I'm being boring, or are you being funny? Or are you really nodding out and falling asleep?
Little column A.
I know that you do that when we do these big conventions, and and we're on our way home, and as soon as he gets in the car, he's out.
Well, you.
Oh yeah.
I've sat next to Jeff before. Yeah, I do snore pretty loud when I need to.
And then he'll wake up. He'll talk in his sleep from about the last moment before he talked to sleep. Like, okay, we're doing we're gonna make eggs, bro. Yeah, right, Patrick. And then I say something in the morning, and he's on like stretched out on the floor.
He said in my dreams, I promise.
In his dreams, he's going, eggs Benedict. Yeah, Patrick is going to make eggs Benedict for everybody here at Chaotic Radio.
I know how to make mashed potatoes. I know how to make scrambled eggs. I've never made eggs Benedict.
Who the do you think you're fooling? You ain't going to make no eggs Benedict for anybody. Let's see if let's go to a restaurant and see if you can eat eat a plate of eggs Benedict.
That's not a bet you'd win. I would put it away.
Really? Okay.
I'm omnivorous.
Yeah.
If you're ever lucky enough, you'll be able to have a Scottish game
Oh, the Scotch eggs, yes, those are very good.
Sausage with wrapped in an egg.
He makes these. I'll have to learn how he makes them. Wow.
And then he brings them here. I've had them at the place I like to have them is now the black one, the British Bulldog really makes good Scotch eggs. That's worth a trip just to go there.
Our mutual friend who shall remain nameless used to get drunk there, and his parents would get drunk at the table next to him.
Oh yeah, what friend was that? I think we know who we're talking about. Somebody in the neighborhood.
Bottoms up.
Oh yeah. So what's in the news? What was in the news before we went to called it a night last night?
Well, there are conspiracy theories about other shooters, but I think they got the guy.
Do you think it was one, or do you think there was multiple? People are saying there was coming from a lower deck.
Every time there's a sniper like this,
There's always
multiple snipers.
Is the government doing this? What's really going on? Are they doing that to occupy to? Is our own government doing this shit?
No, it's one lone nut.
I don't know. I've run with all this conspiracy stuff and UFOs and you know.
Yeah, I'm not really.
All this stuff. I go. Who's to say there isn't? I mean, that's the possibilities, man. I mean, this is a mad world.
Yeah, and the National Enquirer just paid over $6 to get pictures of him shot.
Wow.
Wow. By the way, I would pay.
That's a lot of money. Well, how much money are these businesses like National Enquirer worth? Is that a worldwide rag? I just look at it when I'm waiting, when there's a long line at the grocery store, and then I put it back, and then, you know, I'd rather take the chance of stealing one and then paying for that garbage. But sometimes I want to believe, you know, like the Bat Boy escapes from the...
Oh, that was in the Globe, yeah.
I remember I saw somebody with a Bat Boy tattoo right from that same Photoshop photo. I mean, they were the kings of Photoshop before it was around. Yeah, Weekly World
News. Those are the guys who created Bad Boy. They made bank.
And how about, where was it?Maybe Big Bear or somewhere, Crystal Lake, Camp Crystal Lake. Giant trout swallows family of 12. Yeah. It looked like a paper cutout, you know, eating a family that's in their little rowboat, you know.
As a kid, the Bigfoot covers would always grab me.
Oh, the Bigfoot. And we already know, you know, Bigfoot hoax. Pat's Bigfoot. Who made your costume?
The Great Bill Munns, the guy I told you about from Return of the Living Dead, who also built Swamp Thing.
Yes. But I mean the one that you use for local stuff, you know, we don't tell anybody and you're gone and like there's a Bigfoot sighting and Pat is out of town, and then, you know, family members say, oh, he's at his sister's house in Washington or something like. Okay, I'm starting to put pieces together here. Another hoax, another sighting. What about, do you go in the Catskill Mountains too?
No, Bigfoot's always Pacific Northwest.
He's very regional, isn't he?
He's here, man.
I mean, different tribes. I know that there's Bigfoot tribes. There's
no,
clans. There's clans,
the
right?
Oma. The Indians had a name for him, Oma.
Yeah?
Yeah, but that's...
Has a Bigfoot ever came across Chupacabra? What if they're like hanging out together, like and telling stories about, you know, how many people they freaked out, you know? That would be interesting. That would be a good movie there, Pat. Chupacabra meets Bigfoot.
They were selling a poster, American Film Market, which happens at the end of the month.
Yeah.
In Santa Monica. They had a movie coming, Chupacabra versus Bigfoot, but nobody's made it yet.
Oh gosh. You know, I might as well have Bigfoot and Wild Boy. Wild Boy is a sidekick, you know? It'll be like the Tick in Fluttering Arthur.
Play the theme to Bigfoot and Wild Boy.
Oh.
And then Run, Joe, Run.
Oh God, we got. I love. It's so funny and I, you know, I was watching that as a kid, you know, And just going like,
He said, Mama, how do I do that?
I used to love Shazam. You know, Billy Batson and his mentor travel the highways and
Yeah,
byways
Billy Batson
to
is
seek truth.
Teenager Billy Batson, an older, distinguished gentleman in a mobile home. today.
Yeah, mobile home.
Okay, I have a request here.
Yeah.
Across the pond. What about the new Chucky movie?
Yeah, he already. I got that message from Dougie. Yeah, the Chucky. It's a, what do you say? True story. Like the Chucky family is like son of Chucky.
Cult of Chucky.
Right, cult of Chucky.
Dougie, they had a screening on Monday. I was invited to the screening and blew it off because I don't think they made a good Child's Play movie since Bride of Chucky. But my friends who went loved it. I think it's going to DVD by Halloween. I mean, the voice of Chucky, Brad Dourif, it's gotten to get him back. Basically, he has his daughter starring in them.
We got two choices of Bigfoot and Wild Boy. We got, oh my God, that was 77? I thought it was like 75 or something.
Play it, let's just hear it.
God, look at this. Look at this surfer dude. He's straight out of Huntington Beach with this surf song haircut, man. Oh, God. That means Bigfoot had to kill a deer or something for him to make his little buckskin surfer vest. He's like, okay, he's hiding in the Malibu mountains.
I'm sure they shot them over a weekend. You know what I mean? Bigfoot Wild Boy was not going to go a week.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Oh, my God, we got Isaac Hayes going on here. We got this, the theme song. We got the wah wah pedal guitar playing funky guitar from like Shaft. It's like they took the Shaft intro and they used it for Saturday Morning Wild Boy, and it goes like this.
Out of the great Northwest comes the legendary Bigfoot, who 8 years ago saved a young child lost in the vast wilderness and raised that child until he grew up to be Wild Boy.
Named him.
Look, just like $6 Million Man. Look, doing slow motion. Yeah. That girl's pretty cute.
What was her name? I missed her name in the credits.
Her name is Monica Ramirez. Okay, hold on a second. Let's pause it. She's got a cute Indian girl with her braids on each side. Her name's Monica Ramirez. I wonder what
I'll
happened
look
to
her up,
her.
and I will tell you. I'll look her up on your phone.
And they're being chased. It shows Bigfoot being chased by a 75 Lincoln Continental. and I swear he looks like one of the teen stars out of one of these old teen magazines. Like everybody had the Leif Garrett haircut, you know, back then. But I love that guitar. Listen to it.
Yeah, man.
Bigfoot and Wild Boy.
Let's find out what happened.
And also, have you noticed when they're doing the jumps, it's just like $6 Million Man. Slow motion.
Yeah.
When they're running, when they're jumping off a cliff, and it's or it's out of a tree and it's just in reverse. I always like, how about Shazam? Oh, elders, fleet, strong, and wise, appear before my seeking eyes.
Jeff still prays to Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam. Oh, here's Shazam right here. His mentor. Did you hear those powerful words? Shazam!
Which transforms him in a flash into the mightiest of mortal beings, Captain Marvel.
Yay! All right. It's kind of the same theme as Super Friends, to protect the innocent, to right that which is wrong, and to serve the American way.
She pretty much hasn't worked since 2001.
Oh, wow.
Her later roles, including Hotel Maid and different shows.
Oh, a hotel maid. Well, that's great. I hope that wasn't a career killer, was it?
I got a message here from one of my friends. He's a stand-up comic. Some nice racist black theme songs from the 70s. I.e. Good Times, What's Happening, Our Basketball Stanford.
You know what?
We love Sanford, son.
In honor
You dumb it! Oh, Elizabeth, I'm having a big one.
play Rickety Rocket.
Oh, Rickety Rocket. Oh, my God. Now talk about who's being racist
This
here.
is the most racist cartoon in the history of.
And I thought Fat Albert was, and those ghetto kids playing their junkyard band, making a trombone out of, junk plumbing from an apartment building.
That's right.
Oh, gosh. Rickety Rocket.
Play Rickety Rocket.
Okay. Rick
Rickety.
T.
It was sort of an urban speed buggy.
Rickety
Rocket.
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 That's a good thing. I'm glad I got a journalist here who knows how to spell. Especially when he's substituting those kids. Mr. Jankowitz.
Mr. J. I never
Mr. J.
You can't egg Mr. J's house if you don't know where Mr. J lives.
Yeah. Until I throw him under the bus. Rickety Rocket cartoon. Oh, intro. Here we
Here
go.
we go. Listen to this. Great theme.
Mechanical Miracle. Look at his black. Oh my God. That it.
They would burn the studio down if you made Rickety Rocket.
Dan, they were, okay, we got 4 Afro-American kids. And it looked like they took the Cosby kids and they stuck them in and tried to make them the Jetsons.
It's like they did Speed Buggy as a caricature.
How'd that rocket break down in the middle of space? Then what happens, man? Oh, man. I'm scared to watch, man. We got the best 50 of the best cartoons.
Jabberjaw, play Jabberjaw.
Oh, Jabberjaw. I'm sure it's coming up here. Live action Plastic Man. When did they do that, dude?
Oh yeah, they did that for Nightfall. The USA Network did that. They would have a guy, as in the late 70s, early 80s, would host dressed as Plastic Man. Hit it.
Oh my God, Plastic. There's guest stars on Superman, on Super Friends.
Well, when he guest starred on Super Friends, he had to use his stretching ability to pull a mouse. That's Mike Bell.
Yuck. Oh my God, you were absolutely right.
Play New Shmoo Review.
Oh God, they even had, look, canceled Plastic Man movie. The terrible canceled Plastic Man.
If you look that up, you'll find my article on it. They tried to do Stretch Armstrong with Danny DeVito playing Stretch Armstrong.
Oh my God, a Stretch up. He was the most deformed, weird little guy that.
Are we talking about Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah.
Or Danny DeVito?
And he had just like these, like stubby little fists, and you puncture them and all that weird goo came
Yeah,
out.
the weird see-through color of the syrup.
Yeah, that flesh-colored ooze.
I had a Superman.
Horrible toy.
My Superman one was bitten by the Irish Setter.
Uh,
So rather than do the right thing and throw it away, I hid it in the deepest part of the freezer. And then my mom pulled out like the turkey for Thanksgiving, the Stretch Armstrong Superman would freeze onto it in the box.
oh God.
But every time they tried to throw it away, I would rescue him and throw him back in the fridge.
Did they ever make a Stretch Hulk?
Yes.
They did make a Stretch. Now,
He
that'd
was
be
the-
worth some bucks, wouldn't
He
it?
was the first one they made, if he's not leaking, which he would be.
Yeah, he would. That was a collector. They made a few. They made Stretch Monster, which was
Yeah.
kind of like a gill. It was kind of like a cross
Creature
between
Rock Lagoon.
kind of a creature and the Emer.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. The Emer was a one from the 50s, Ray Harryhausen,
20 million miles to Earth.
20 million miles to Earth. Yes.
It basically has him blind an elephant with his claws.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That poor elephant, man. Gak. Gak. There was Gak, and then there was Slime. Now, they used to call it, that used to be in a package back in the 60s. You could mix, you had to have your parents mix it up for you. And you made your own slime, and it was called Instant Liquid Plunk Meth. Instant Liquid Plunk, I think they call it.
Liquid plunk.
Oh, what else? What else? You said another, what was another intro you said, Patrick?
Let's see. Shmoo.
Oh,
Play the Shmoo.
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 SHMOO. Schmood, Schmoopy, Schmooskin, Schmoop, Prank. I think
Shmoo punching cartoon.
maybe Shmoo. Oh, Shmoo cartoon.
There we
Okay.
go.
Shmoo Bullet Force mod menu. Shmoo voice.
Play Shmoo cartoon.
Okay, let's see. Oh my God, that was
New
79.
Shmoo review. Yeah.
New Shmoo 1979. We've got. Here it goes.
Scooby Doo with a glob.
This is retarded. This is ridiculous. It's like
Scooby Doo with a bucket of slime.
you know they're taking characters, they're taking extras, they're like taking sidekicks and then making them the main character from another cartoon. They're just ripping off each other. It's all
Speaking of that, play the thing. Cartoon.
Oh, he had his own. He had his own. See, that's another thing. You're part of the Fantastic Four, and you're going to break off and try to do solo. What happens? Just like with these bands, you know, that they try to go solo and they fail.
The Thing got lead singer's disease. Thought he was bigger than the FF.
Oh my God, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, Fang Face. They got some really stupid ass
Frank
shit.
Face was
Oh,
awesome.
there's Thing right there. Fred and Barney.
Meet the
Fred,
Thing.
no. Fred and Barney meet the Thing. Really?
That's what the Fred and Barney made the Shmoo.
Is that where our mentality was back in the 70s?
It's so sad. Fred and Barney wouldn't have big enough draw without the Thing.
So they got to bring in another character. It's like the Cousin Oliver ruining the Brady Bunch.
Cousin Oliver totally fucked up the Brady Bunch.
He does, and he admits it.
That's what they call jumping the shark.
Jumping the shark, yeah. The Super Globetrotters, and what's this? Now with the super giant afro on here. Oh my God, you can't do this today. People would say, okay, you're offending, you're offensive. This is cancel. Don't even go.
Well, the Super Globetrotters, one of them, their head turns into a basketball with a fro, another turns into a rope.
Yeah. Oh my God, here it is.
Notice Dino and the dinosaur running through a minefield with the Thing.
Look, it shows him, Ben Grimm, it shows him as a skinny kid. They're doing the Wonder Twin Power ring thing, and then he turns into the thing with all the rocks. Oh my God, that is so out of character. Now he's going to beat up a shark.
The shark's trying to bite him and can't and runs off on its fins.
Now, I don't understand these animators. How do they keep a straight face when they're making this? And how old were these guys, these creative directors?
They probably had a flask full of gin.
No, these guys are seriously on something, man.
Punch Tarzan and the Super
they're gonna think that us kids that are in elementary school are gonna like this stuff.
Punch Tarzan and the Super 7.
Oh my God, Tarzan and the Super 7. Where are these people today? Are they still living?
Well, a lot of them are probably old drunks.
Are they? What kind of retirement plan are they on, man? Super 7. What is it?
Tarzan and the Super 7.
Oh yeah, that sounds legit. Tarzan.
I like that Tarzan is not enough. You need the Super 7 to kind of sell Tarzan.
And oh my God, Tarzan and the Super 7. You know, there was.
It sounds like the world.
I'm so glad a lot of this shit passed me by, man. Since I only had back then, like 3 or 4 channels. Punch it. Oh, here we go.
Tarzan and Super 7 game.
The powers of insects. Web woman.
Oh, really generic.
Oh, just rip off Submariner and Aquaman. Super Stretch. Oh, that sounds original. I've lost faith in humanity. Scarlet Samurai. We had Tarzan and Lone Ranger. You know, every time you do a Tonto, or no one cares. Is that the reason?
Probably.
No one cares about the long. Why try to reboot?
They tried to bring Lone Ranger back in the 80s, and it's like, no way, man. Everyone wants robots.
No kid wants to see a cowboy riding a horse with a fucking mask on him. God.
Everyone shows stations and robots.
That was over in the 50s, man. Filmation. Now they had some pretty bad cartoons, didn't they?
Oh, play Super President. This is a good one.
You gotta be serious, man. I thought I knew all these bad ones.
This is if you ever do Comic Con's world's worst cartoons.
Oh yeah.
The maker of Pink Panther, I think the Patty Freeling.
Fritz Freeling.
Yeah, Lita Patty and Fritz Freeling. They did this thing where the president is hit by lightning and becomes super powerful. Play Super President.
Oh my God.
I'm not joking, it's real.
What? I heard of a comic book. I don't know if it's DC or
Punch
Marvel.
It's Super President and his best friend Jerry.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, Punch It, opening credits.
Super President. Oh my God.
Considered the world's worst cartoon.
President. Oh, Super President cartoon. 1967.
Yeah. They run this at world's worst cartoons every year.
Oh God. Now I saw a comic book back in about mid-70s, and this other little kid I used to hang around, Michael, his little sister, buys this comic, says, "Oh, I'm getting this one. This is Prez, the first teen president."
Created by Jack Kirby.
Really? You know that one, yeah?
Yeah.
The first teen, we got a teenager running.
Well, not Jack Kirby. It was created by the co-creator of Captain America, Joe Simon.
Oh my God! Why do they go there?
They're trying to appeal to the kids.
Look at Super. He looks like the Atom. Look at his.
Punch it, let's hear it.
Oh my!
With his best friend
The
Jerry.
Great Vegetable Disintegrator. That's an episode. You gotta be kidding me.
Play the opening credits, baby.
Okay, Super President's theme song. Okay, get ready for this, everybody.
With his best friend
This is
Jerry.
called Torture You Wednesday. That's what it. Okay. Freeling for the.
Super President! This power was born in a cosmic storm. Every molecule charged with might.
Every molecule.
To change his molecular structure to steel, granite, or whatever the need requires.
Whatever the need requires.
This country, in the cause of justice, has brought James Norcross to the highest office in the land as Super President. Super President!
Okay, how are you going to run a country and fight evil at the same time? That's multi. Our president now can't even multitask like that. Oh my God, he should have changed the granite to steel or whatever the situation needs. Like, yeah, okay, that's pretty damn creative. Super. And the guy looks like he looks like this white-haired generic office dude, executive CEO of something.
President James Norcross. It's right there in the title.
President James Norcross. Oh God, I remember. I used to love the Mighty Mightor because I loved his. He had the horns and the mask and just a torn up cape, leather loincloth, and he had that club with the energy power in it. The Mighty Mightor in the prehistoric times. I also like the Herculoids. Remember the Herculoids? They were good. Somewhere in the future with Herculoids, you had Tundro, Xandor, you had Zuck, Gleep and Gloop, Tundro, Egu, and Pat is falling asleep.
No way, man. I'm here for the long haul.
You're in for the long haul.
Punching
What's
Casper.
that?
Hold on.
Oh, here's one. Tobar, the Eighth Man. That was a Japanese animation back in the 60s. Eighth Man. Let's hear that theme song. I used to watch that when I was a kid. Wait.
That's not to
The
impress you.
FBI is helpless.
Aliens built a dinosaur to conquer the earth. The Eighth Man or
The
Eighth
Eighth Man, not the Eighth Man. The Eighth Man.
So 7 Tobors before him.
Why is he the Eighth Man?
I don't know.
I know that 7 is a significant number through our universe.
Played Casper and the Teen Angels.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
Casper and the Teen Angels.
Oh my God! I already saw the teenagers teamed up with somebody else. Obviously,
Casper.
that failed. Now we got Casper.
They were a friendly ghost.
Oh, fuck
So
that
they had
friendly
him
ghost.
team up. So they that's what they're saying in the late 70s Star Wars era, I guess. Fuck Casper. We need him with space cops.
My favorite Asian type cartoon was Speed Racer.
Play Speed Racer.
Oh, now I got a good Speed Racer collection.
Oh, fuck that. Play Gigantor. Play Gigantor.
Oh, the original Gigantor. Then we could play the Dickies
Yes.
Gigantor.
I heard the Dickies play that live.
Oh, they did. We saw them. I remember Brian Jones had a party at that studio right up the street here, and had them play for their kid's 14th birthday. And they played it. They played Gigantor. They played. They played some good. They played Banana Splits. It was great.
Gigantor, the space age robot. He
Okay, what was I gonna play?
You're playing Gigantor.
Oh yeah,
Duh.
Gigantor. God, this short-term memory. It hasn't been 30 seconds. You tell me 3 seconds later, and it just goes right out the other ear. Ah, I've got an ear for memory for radio.
And a face for it too.
A face for radio. You've got a face for radio. Okay. I used to love this as a kid, though. I used to watch Astro Boy and Gigantor. And I wanted to be like Jimmy Sparks. And I made my own. I had this box and I took clothespins off it, and those were my controls to control my paper cutout robot that I made. Back then, we didn't have those toys like we have now. You had to make your own shit, man. You had to be creative.
Yeah, I had a robot outfit that I made out of cardboard box.
Yeah.
I just cut holes in for my arms.
Are you sure you weren't a Happy Meal back then? A box? I remember when the Big Mac was invented, they had some cowboy singing, "Would it be a boy or a grill?" Yeah, I remember stupid shit like that, but not as stupid as some of this dumb
Will you
shit.
please play Gigantor?
Okay, opening. Here
We
we
love you
go.
rambling, Grandpa, but Gigantor.
God, it's a rambling Wednesday.
In my way.
Oh, God, here we go. Oh, God, skip this ad in 3 seconds. Oh, this got to be kidding me, man. Skip ad. Oh, yeah.
Great thing.
Gigantor, 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 the space robot. He has your command, Gigantor, the space age robot. He's taller in your hands. Quicker than quick, stronger than strong, quicker than quick, smaller than strong. Ready to fight for right against strong Gigantor, Gigantor, Gigantor. Man, that felt good. I sang along with that. We sang along
Play
with
the
that.
Dickies version,
I
baby.
think we did a great job, man.
But the Dickies have a famous cover of it.
Man, that was. No wonder I love Gigantor so much. When you're a little kid and you're seeing that, that's like, wow, that was so powerful, man. Yeah, robots were our friends, man, when we were kids. They were better friends than people, so you know that?
Poor Jeff, he's still waiting for the sex robot.
Did you ever have a robot friend that just like totally screwed you over? Or owed you money or bailed out on you?
I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I can't.
Oh, my robot threw me under the bus today, literally.
I am going to cock block Jeff for that sex robot.
Oh, Gigantor opening with the, okay, where's the Dickies? Dickies! Why isn't it showing up right underneath the next one? Okay. Gigantor, the Dickies. The Dickies. Ah, here we go.
Here goes, listen.
Yes. And after the
Play
ad.
it. Play it loud. Love the Dickies. Against wrong.
Gigantor, 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 Gigantor. Yeah! Woo!
I love the opening chords of the Dickies version.
Oh,
It sounds
man.
like you can't put your arms around the memory.
That wakes you up in the morning. That is refreshing. That gets your blood circulated, and that's like a cup of coffee right there, man.
And just or a punch in the nuts. And just to remind you, you see, it sounds like you can't put your arms around the memory. One more time.
Now, did you like that? That intro is good. It just builds up, you know.
But it sounds like you can't put your arms around playing. You can't put your arms around a memory because it starts like that.
Yes. And now, since we're going with the Dickies, that they did another theme song. They did another one of my favorite.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, that's right. We're going to do Killer Clowns. They did a lot of good. I thought they did that Johnny Test cartoon, but I asked Stan Lee when I ran into him at punk rock karaoke one night.
Stan Lee was a punk rock karaoke.
And
he said, "Please stop harassing me, true believer."
and
Jeffrey Sargent.
No, Stan Lee of the Dickies.
Oh.
Not Stan Lee, comic icon.
Excelsior.
It's funny. There's so many people. He's such a fan of comics, of Marvel Comics. That's why he named himself Stan Lee.
Please stop humping my leg, Jeffrey Sargent.
Yeah.
True believer.
But he said that they didn't do the Johnny. It was another band sounding like the Dickies that did Johnny Test. And I thought it was them. I go, yeah, they made it to Saturday morning, man. I'm going like,
We do have a guest in the second hour in case we're driving you nuts now.
yeah. I know how important. Don't worry, Joanne. We will get serious when you get here.
Promises,
Where,
promises.
where,
Play from the beginning.
banana microphone. Like banana microphone. Now this is like 78 right here.
This is the Dickies?
Yeah, this is the original. The keyboard player killed himself.
Really? Why?
Yeah, he shot himself. I don't know, man.
Well, that's Stanley right there?
No, Stanley's the guitar player. This is Leonard Graves Phillips. There's Stanley right there.
Oh.
Looks like Neil Schon of Journey.
Dan the Man requested Speed Racer a few minutes ago.
Oh, that's right. That was my favorite scene. I loved how they used in Kick-Ass when Hit Girl was there kicking ass and just killing everybody.
Oh, they used the Dickies.
Yeah,
she
she would just bounce off the wall, just.
Oh, I thought that was Bad Reputation
She was just fucking these guys up, man.
I interviewed her, cool chick.
Yeah, Chloe.
Chloe Bennett something. She had like 3 names.
She's.
I interviewed her for the vampire movie remake. She
Oh,
did
yeah.
the right one in remake.
She grew up pretty fast. She's and she is trained in martial art. I mean, she did all those moves, right?
Well, she's still with us. I mean, I think the boy is since washed out from the same.
Now the dude that kick-ass, no, he's fighting Jackie Chan
No,
in the movie.
he's in the Godzilla movie. No, I'm talking about the kid from the vampire movie.
Oh, okay.
He was the kid in the road. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Daddy! He had this really whiny voice. Daddy! Daddy!
Yeah.
They're the last men on earth, and they want to give this old man with no teeth peaches. Daddy! Do we have to not cheer for Daddy? It's the end of the world, kid. We keep our own peaches.
I thought she was fantastic and even better in because she grew up. What was it? It was like 2 years later after the first Kick-Ass 2 came after the first one.
Right.
Because they had to make her a new costume because she grew like 3 or 4 inches. Since that. What was that? What? That? What was that one we were gonna play for Dan?
Speed Racer.
Oh yeah. That was a good one, Dan. I'm a big collector. I have a pretty good Speed Racer collection. I have the car and the action figures in the package, and I got a Spritle and Chim Chim that go in the trunk of the car.
Remember the animators?
Sparky, I got Pop.
The animators on Speed Racer knew nothing about how the propulsion engine would work. Chim Chim and Spritle would climb into the exhaust pipe and wind up in the trunk.
What?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Even in a cartoon, you just.
They would have been asphyxiated.
It's not even possible in a cartoon. That's. I call the bullshit on that one.
I was a big fan of Racer X because he was mysterious.
His brother, yeah.
His brother. You never really got to see much of him.
Right.
And then there was that villain dude too. That they always had the guys with the long chin and the mustache that looks like mine. I need to get some villain roles.
When you get a mustache like that, it immediately says douchebag.
Oh,
right,
shut
Dan?
up. I'm gonna kick your ass. That was Jay Ward, right?
Right.
That was from Dudley Do-Right, I believe.
Dudley Do-Right. I used to work there. I was a door mountie at Bullwinkle's.
Bullwinkle's, oh yes. I'd go there, so hopefully I would see somebody in a Bullwinkle costume. That's the only reason I went there.
It was a Chuck E. Cheese ripoff. I remember me and Bullwinkle had to do the Easter egg hunt because even as a kid, I had kind of pointy, big jaw and blonde hair, blue eyes. So I would always be Dudley Do-Right, according to the manager. And this goofy Southern kid would be Bullwinkle. And the kid used to drop a deuce and he was very big on not washing his hands.
Oh,
and I'm watching him shaking hands with all these children, and it just made me ill.
I wanted to be that. I always wanted to wear character costumes, man. And it took me till I was a grown adult, like 10 years. It was back in 2000. I finally got to be a costume character at a theme park, and I was Shrek.
He smelled of cigarettes and dried semen.
Not only was I was also a face character, which paid more.
Dressed up as Spider-Man.
But no one paid me for that.
He smelled of cigarette smoke and dried semen then too.
I paid $700 from Scott Leva.
Scott Leva was the stuntman who would do appearances for Marvel Comics as Spider-Man.
Yes, and one day he was booked for a party.
He was a stunt coordinator on the X-Men movies.
Yes.
And he invented a decelerator that stunt people use to this day.
Yeah, and that revolutionized airbags for high falls.
Right.
And I wish I could get a hold of him again. Well, I do. I think he's on Facebook, but when you get a busy guy like that, he's not going to.
You just see,
it's Goofy Jeff Sargent used to jump on my trampoline back in the 80s.
Was that a homosexual metaphor?
No. He had a backyard trampoline and I practiced, and he would take pictures. He taught me how to sword fight. He was a great stunt coordinator.
Taught you how to sword fight?
Yeah, there we go, sword fight. But he sold me through the penny saver. That's how I met him.
He sold you meth?
I shut up and let me finish my story.
Show us on the Spider-Man action figure where he touched
I
you.
got 2 costumes for the price of 1. I bought a Captain America costume, but the boots weren't included. I had to have somebody else make the boots.
No.
I had to make my own shield.
No.
Yes, and I bought the Spider-Man suit, both for $700, and it was pretty cheesy. You know who wore the Captain America one?
Stanley.
No, Commander Riker. He was.
Yeah, Jonathan Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes was wearing I got his costume, Captain America costume.
Pre-Star Trek: The Next Generation, Frakes used to do personal appearances. He's in the
hired by Marvel.
Hired by Marvel. I think the first year of that costume was '76 for the bicentennial, because that's when Jimmy Carter got elected. There's a famous picture of him reading Spidey Super Stories to Amy Carter.
Oh my God!
And Frakes is there on like a parade. It's Frakes as Captain America, and this guy is Spider-Man. Frakes likes to tell the story that they would mock him as Captain America, but they would really get on Spider-Man for being fat.
Well, Scott Level was the best Spider-Man, and he was a gymnast too. So
he could run up a wall.
He could run up a wall, and he could do a one-hand handstand right in front of you.
I did a story on him for I think Spider-Man 2 magazine.
I remember that. The man who would be Spider-Man.
The man who would be Spider-Man. I'm very proud of that title. He would do the personal appearances, and he could literally run up the wall.
He could pull it off. The only thing he couldn't do was shoot a web.
And he saw it.
So one day he had to go. He had another event. He had an event to go through, and he was booked by this rich guy for his kid's party in Beverly Hills, right? So he sends me there. I'm going. Just do it, Jeff. Don't worry. Marvel will be paying me. This is some rich producer, Jewish guy.
Sergeant Spider-Man kept cupping kids
up in the Beverly Hills or Bel Air, where it was, and. I go, Scott, I'm not what if he tells me to do flips and stuff? And like, just ride along with it. I'm skinny. He's got muscle. He looks like Johnny Romita.
Shows on the Spider-Man action figure with the Jeff Sargent Spider-Man touch too.
I look like the skinny Steve Ditko one from the first creation rendition of Spider-Man. He looks like the Johnny Romita one. So the guy goes, so I hear you're also a gymnast, and I'm going, oh fuck, how am I gonna pull this off? And the kids,
there's Spider-Man left by ambulance to urgent care.
There was a swing set there. I swang in this. I swung when this. You know when you launch yourself out of the out of the swing, and then I went up in the air and I dove into a somersault.
Daddy, Spider-Man smells like meth.
Then the kids, he says, when the kids start shut up! When the kids get bored, you got to leave the part. That's when you got to start shutting it down, man, because then they'll start going, you're not real, you're just a guy in a costume. And it's horrible. It's not a good feeling. And I had a suspicion that he was onto me. This guy was onto me that I wasn't Scott Leva.
Spider-Man trying to lead children into his windowless van.
The worst thing is, I'm changing in the garage, and he sees my Batman tattoo on my arm. And then he starts getting suspicious. So, you're a gymnast, right? Yeah. Well, Marvel will be billing me. Okay, I drove all the way out here. You son of a bitch, I'm not getting any money. I did no tips, no,
Well, if you were my Spider-Man...
I did a cartwheel. I got away with a cartwheel and a half a handspring.
What a special Spider-Man...
You know what? Scott owes me for that.
What a special Spider-Man show that must have been. Scrawny drained Spider-Man.
Oh, gosh.
Half a cartwheel. Hey, I see a lovely one approaching. Do we hit the doorbell?
Let's see.
Wow! Our special guest is here.
Oh my God, Joanne Ledesma.
Can we cuss on this show?
Yes, you can. We've got our censor horn.
Early in the morning.
Let's hook her up on microphone number
Microphone number 4.
Number
Joanna.
4.
Have a seat, baby. We'll hook you up. Here you go, Jiggly.
You look very rock and roll, baby.
You do.
You look good.
You know how hard it is to look rock and roll this early?
Oh,
in the
no,
morning?
yes. I
I
think
had to go to bed like this to wake up like this.
Wow.
you let that's the rock star hours. You're up just like this guy being a journalist. You're a rock and roll journalist.
Oh
Is
my
that-
God, I'm all things rock and
you
roll.
got.
Well,
That's what's so mysterious about you, Joanne. I see you. You're always out covering the NAMM show.
31 years.
31 years
Wow.
at NAMM, with the microphone, just interview every big rock icon in the world.
Who's the biggest a-hole, you rock star a-hole you've interviewed?
Well, usually when I interview them, they're like talking about their new album, their new song, their baby. So I get them at a good time. I don't get them when they're cussing and throwing shit in the studio, right? But I wouldn't say she's a rock star, but Tina Sinatra was a pill.
Wow.
I've just written a book called My Father's Daughter,
Oh.
and it was just
Yeah, I'm
basically
good.
unload.
Is she the youngest one of all the siblings?
Yeah. The other two were pretty cool. It's just that she was really unloading. Her dad had passed away, or they hated the step monster. It was just sort of a heavy. We went to lunch, and she made the waiters cry, and it was just.
You know what?
I was shocked. I thought it would have been, Gene Simmons or somebody like that, but no, actually.
How was Gene Simmons, by the way?
Gene Simmons is cool. The first time I met Gene Simmons, we did an interview with him, and I remember the day, because he's a super businessman.
Oh yeah, he's all
businessman.
about business.
He's all about business. Yeah, well, you know what? The day I walked in, he didn't even say hi or whatever, or shake the hand or do the meet and greet. He's like, I'm so happy 3 products came out today. And I remember what they were. And he showed them to me. He had a new Kiss watch, which was pretty cool. And then
Hold on, did he give you one?
No, it was like a prototype, He had a Kiss watch, a Kiss coffin, which had just come out, and Kiss condoms. And he was holding them up. He wouldn't let me take a picture of him, but I took a picture of him holding up the condoms.
He wouldn't let you.
Well, that was the first
You
time.
wouldn't take a buddy shot with you?
Not the first time. The second time when I ran into him backstage at an event, I took a picture with him. But before I took a picture with him, I said, hi, do you remember me? I interviewed you for blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, sure, Joanna. And he shook my hand.
He remembered
And
your
I
name.
screamed because he had one of those funny buzzers in his hand. So he's a pretty funny guy, but he's a brilliant music business.
Oh, he's all about business. Don't forget to send your money in for your Kiss coffin. He will take your last dime. He took mine for my membership.
Yeah.
His wife, Shannon Tweed, used to, I'm the vet. I was in the Kiss Army.
Were you really?
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't. And I never dressed up as Kiss as Halloween either.
Now, Joanne, give us your first name. Joanne Ledesma.
Joanne Ledesma.
And what was the first celebrity you ever interviewed? She does rock journalism, kind of like what I
Oh,
did
this
with
is a great story.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's
I
what I'm
was
asking, baby.
programming music for United Airlines in-flight audio. It's like a 20 million international audience. It was in Pasadena, and the interview happened to be on a Saturday. So there was, the office was empty except for those who wanted to get up early on Saturday. And the interview ended up being Paul Rogers from Bad
Wow,
Company. Now,
Bad
so
Company.
2 cool things. One is, because you listen to all the music, right? He has a thick English accent. I was like, whoa.
No idea. He
Yeah,
sings in English.
and just gorgeous and just great. And he signed my albums and we talked. Then we're outside in the porch. Everybody leaves, all 3 people, right? The engineers, everybody's gone. And he's waiting for his car to take him to his show in Ventura. The car never shows up. He's calling. Nobody comes, picks him up. So I call my boyfriend and his brother. I said, your brother still have his Mercedes? I don't want to drive him in my junky car. So my boyfriend and his brother show up in a Mercedes, and they pick us up in Pasadena, and we drive him to
Wow.
Ventura to his show.
Tell me he gets away.
Yeah, and
Doesn't
then
get in.
no, he doesn't get us in
Piece
but
of-
a week later, I received a big box just full of Bad Company T-shirts and stuff. And then when he came around to the Pomona Fair, we got in for that. So, but the cool thing was the ride to Ventura. He was telling me that he was, I was like, what's going on in your life? And
That's a good almost 2-hour drive. I mean,
Yeah.
just
I was like giddy because that was my first interview. I just wouldn't shut up.
Isn't that
You know,
good?
oh my God, you're friends with Jimmy Page. Oh my God. And so he was
Friends.
telling me that him and Jimmy Page were friends. and then he had a bat in his house, and he didn't know what to do. And Jimmy Page came over, and they decided to get the bat with a hockey stick, I guess leaning against the wall or something.
Oh, no.
So they get this bat, and they go after this bat, and then Paul's girlfriend comes in, and she's pissed because it turns out that hockey stick was given to her by like the championship team, and it's signed by everyone.
Oh.
And so, I mean, this is the kind of conversations we were having. I mean, so yeah, that was my first full-fledged interview.
Have you talked? Have you met him several times? Remember he fronted Queen for a while, didn't he?
He fronted Queen for a while, and now we have that young Adam guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did front Queen for a while. Remember, he was with the Firm.
Oh yeah,
That's how him and Paige, I guess, they were friends, and they said let's start a band, and so that was the Firm. So that was kind of my first interview.
Tell us about some of your other interviews, Joanna.
Oh my gosh. Well, punk rock, since this is sort of chaotic radio.
Yes, ma'am.
I worked, my second interview was, I think, Ray Manzarek of the Doors.
Wow.
And
he was the manager of X, wasn't he?
Exactly, and I found out at that interview that he wasn't just, he didn't manage them. He heard them, produced their first, I think it was their first 3 albums.
Wow.
And if you look
Cool.
on it, and it's different from you go from the Doors to X. And so yeah, so I was just thrilled that we interviewed him. And of course, I had an intern who said, "Oh my gosh, take my picture. This is Ray Manzarek. He's like a legend." So he took 4 pictures, and then when he transferred them to me, they all got deleted. So that was my first to always have a backup camera, so I never lost a celebrity photo after that.
I've done that so much where I pressed a button. We've just done a convention and one-time shot with a picture with the celebrity or something, and then it gets deleted.
Well, this is about maybe 15 years ago when we didn't have cameras on our phone and all that kind of stuff.
So you used a digital
and transfer
camera.
I don't even know if digital was around that long ago, but yeah. So him, and then after that, he hooked me up with John Doe, and I got to interview John Doe. I've interviewed everybody from Santana to Richie Furay to Roger McGuinn to David Crosby.
I saw a picture of you with Joe Walsh.
Joe Walsh.
Oh,
yeah.
Joe.
Now that guy's a great. I heard him on Tony's Jukebox. That guy's a great
Okay,
character.
let me tell you something. When you hear his music and you see him on TV, his personality is the same off camera. That guy is a jokester. He's fun. He's warm. He's fuzzy. He's hilarious. I mean, if you look at the picture I took of him, he's got this leather coat with like crazy leather moons and things cut out. It's like classy but crazy, but cosmic,
Yeah, very cosmic.
And he's warm and wonderful. He's one of the personalities that I would say doesn't change at all. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, I mean the smoke. The smoker you get, the drinker you are, the smoker you get.
I mean, he's great, And the way I got that interview is I went to NAMM and I stood in line for 2 hours, just like everybody else does, to try and get an autograph. I said, I don't want your autograph. I don't think I just want to know if I can interview you. I said, just you, not those other guys. Because he was already with the E all the time. I want to do it on a songwriting channel. So he lit up. He introduced me as manager, and a week later he's in the studio in Pasadena. We were.
Oh, you tuned in for the show. Wow.
You get invited to so many cool stuff.
I invite myself.
No, you have a way. Obviously, you got a talent. They just see what you have, and that's going like this guy. I think this. Yeah, I'll do an interview.
Well, I grew up.
Must be your approach.
It is, and I'm gonna give away my secret. In all the years I've been doing this, I've never given away my secret. So here it is. Okay, I grew up with a bunch of musicians, watched them play in the backyard. Los Lobos. My friend Mike Albert, who was with Megadeth, Don Avilo, Oingo Boingo, right? Yeah. But they grew up in my backyard, and they were always practicing and fiddling with their gear and tuning things and whatever. So I became a bit of a gearhead from like 1970 to 1980, and I always know gear, and I recognize amps, and I recognize a Strat and a Gretsch and drums and guitars and everything. So I became a gearhead. So when I talked to an artist, or when they first meet me, I had to break down the female barriers. Like, oh, here's another like female person who's going to interview me and ask me who my influences are. Yeah. So I've never done that. I've always said, wow. How long have you had that, that 68 Gretsch? I heard you got it from Tom Petty's guy or whatever, Yeah. And I grew up with a guitar tech who gave me a lot of insight. So I always walked in and I talked about shit that they were interested in. Carlos Santana. I went to San Francisco and I did an interview with him. And I walked in, and he had this room with all his gear set up. And he walked in, I had a camera. I had a camera out, and I was taking pictures of his straps and his settings on his Mesa Boogies. And he walks in, and he goes, "Oh, you want a picture of me?"
Wow.
I said, "No, not really." I said, "Maybe after the interview." I said, "My friends are going to kill me if I can't take a photograph of your settings on your Mesa Boogies."
Wow.
And so he was just like, "Wow, you know."
That's pretty
That's my
impressive,
secret.
though. You know, you see
That's
this
my
girl with
secret.
these beautiful lipstick on, and she knows more about the equipment than the artist, and that's pretty impressive, though.
Ever interviewed Tom Petty?
I do. In fact, I posted on my Facebook
I saw
page
that.
a
Yeah.
picture twice actually, and he was. In fact, I think I wrote yesterday when I posted, because I have pictures of him, and he gave me some autograph stuff that's on my wall. So I posted that in his memory, and what I said about him is he took his songwriting seriously, but he was relaxed about it, and it's just the way his personality was. Every time he showed up to an event, he wore like a suit jacket, really formal, but jeans and Converse. And his personality was the same way. And I had a 15-minute interview with him, supposedly. It was at his manager's office, and that interview went like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Now he plays. I heard him mention that he a lot of songs that he doesn't like that he wrote, and that he doesn't like ever playing in concert.
Right. And then I heard a lot of things, some things that end up, a lot of the interviews I do, stuff ends up on the editing floor.
Oh,
like
man.
stuff with David Crosby. But I'll tell you what Tom told me was that he was good friends with George Harrison. So, you know, we had to ask the George Harrison question.
The
all right?
Wilburys, right?
Wilburys.
Yeah.
But he was telling me that George, whenever George was in town, they'd jam together, just like we do, you know, in our neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
So they jam together. Sometimes Dylan would come in, right? They'd all jam. That's kind of how the Wilburys got started, Jeff Lynne. So anyways, so George Harrison went to Tom Petty's house, and he's like, "You got no ukuleles here. Like, you got dozens of guitars." So like a week or so later, a big truck comes with like 100 ukuleles to Tom's house, you know.
Wow.
And it was a courtesy of George. So he goes, "So next time I jam, you'll have one." So he told me this great story. So yeah, he's awesome.
Did you ever interview any Beatles?
I've never interviewed any Beatles, but I've gotten really close. In fact, recently I was at the Indie Entertainment Summit where we do an induction. And this year we inducted Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and Wings. And Paul couldn't be there, but his drummer, Denny, and
Denny
Lawrence. No.
Oh.
Denny's the drummer. Denny, and the other one is Lawrence Juber, the guitar player. So
Wow.
he's on I think he's on Pretty Love Songs. And he was one of the original Wings members, Lawrence Juber. Plus he's got like 27 of his own albums. He's got a custom Martin guitar that outsells many other.
He probably lays
guitars.
tracks down on other albums that you'll never notice.
No, he's
that-
got several Grammys just on his
Yeah.
own, Lawrence Juber. He's
Oh,
one of
just
those
on
guys. He pulls out his guitar. I said, can you open up your guitar? Can I see your Martin? You know? Yeah, sure. You want me to play something? And I have it on my Facebook page. He plays. I saw her standing there, but he's playing it, and he's playing the lead, the bass, and the rhythm
all at once.
all at once with just
Those
with
kind of
just 10
guitar
fingers
players
in
are
your hand.
amazing.
Yeah, so that's my closeness. I've met Paul, but I didn't work with him or interview. Just like Hi Bye, he would not know who I was.
Well, all three of us have
I met
Tom
Ringo.
Petty stories though. I met him at K Rock when he had his first album. He was on Rodney's show,
Yeah,
and I gotta take a picture of me with my long Roger Daltrey hair, him leaning on my shoulder.
That must have been a while ago.
Yeah. And then Patrick was in what video? He was in one of his music videos.
I'm the Golden King, and it's good to be the king.
Oh wow.
And he didn't say much. He was scrawny, and he lip synced like a champ.
Yeah, no, I got to see him when I talked with him, like I said, 15 minutes, but it turned into like an hour and a half. And
Again, that means
Yeah.
you were asking. I know from my
they
entertainment
always do
reviews.
that. They always do that. They say 15 minutes. That means if they don't like you, you get canned. And if
Yeah.
they like you, they
You
have
keep
more
going.
time.
Well, the thing is, if you ask the right questions and you're genuinely knowledgeable of what you're asking, then
Yeah.
clearly you are, they'll give you more time. They want to get rid of the assholes in
Yeah.
15 minutes.
The
You know?
first time was with a guy named Paul Zolo who wrote a book called Songwriters on Songwriting. So he was already really comfortable, and it depends on what project we're working on. This was on the Songwriter channel, so they're more apt to, because we're talking about songwriting, not just about the band, because it could be any spectrum. It could even be like, who's your favorite songwriter, Merle Haggard, or whatever, you know. So sometimes it depends on the project. So I was fortunate enough that I was able to work on the Songwriter Channel, and they just sort of opened the doors because they could talk about their favorite songwriters. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
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 Just on them and what influenced them.
I interviewed Hoyt Axton, and he was talking about when Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Oh, wow.
And he was saying, he goes, I think I got that from the same spot where Thomas Alva Edison got the microphone. Yeah, and they got the light bulb.
The genius.
Yeah, the genius level. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've done like so many things in the industry because I've had so many jobs. I was A&R for Taxi Music, largest music A&R company in the world, where I screened music. And that's how I learned how to critique music, because we get a song when it's in the headphones, and these are people submitting for possibly being placed somewhere or published. And so we get, you know, it's like a job listing. They answer a listing, we hear the song. And then we had to write a full-page report on the song.
Wow.
The name of the song, the titling, the instrumentation, the recording, the engineering, the cohesiveness. So like this full report goes on the song. You had to be nice because if the song was awful, they're still like the client.
Did you
right?
pick any hits? What's the biggest hit?
Well, the things that I picked got forwarded to the buyers, and we would send like 10 or 12 songs.
And you genuinely meant them, or you were brand nosing?
No. The Taxi Music, Taxi Music is owned by a guy who, in the old days, when you wanted to sell a song, or to create to sell a song, you'd send it to the record labels, right? Well, they'd get like thousands of CDs, but it was expensive to make a record. But then when the digital age came in, and Sam Ash and Guitar Center opened up, people could buy a Mac, right?
Yeah.
And GarageBand and think they were an artist, and all of a sudden all the labels started just getting tons of junk. So what happened is this company started where someone was listening to music for whatever their project was, music, motion picture, advertising, film and TV. They would put the listing out, and then you could pay for a service and submit your song. And if it passed the screening, which I was a screener, then it would get forwarded, and we'd submit like 10 of our best out of like 100. So that's kind of how that works. So my listening skills got really good.
So it's like going through different stages of screening to get to that. You got to pass this one to get through this door. You got to go through all these doors to get to that level, to where it's just like a finalist in a contest, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of like a contest.
it's kind of like a big filter.
Yeah,
right.
It's basically a filtering process, because if you have like a motion picture and they need a major movie for like a Mission Impossible, we'll have a listing. We need this style, this specific type, and then you may get 200 submissions, and then I've got to listen to all 200 and then forward the best 10, and then if the buyer is interested, they'll license it. So that was one way of kind of fixing that GarageBand, Apple laptop music sort of thing. So I did that, A&R for a while. I've taught at Citrus College history and rock and roll, careers in the music industry.
I was a guest.
Were you working back when vinyl? When was vinyl? That was in like early '90s when vinyl was starting.
Because vinyl's back now. So
yeah,
cassette sales, by the way.
All the kids love vinyl now.
Are at their highest level right now.
Cassette sales?
Cassette sales are at their highest level. They've come back hard and strong.
Oh my God! Now that's funny, because Patrick does all his interviews on a cassette. Remember the square little box cassette?
Oh, it was Maxwell
Remember
cassettes.
them? I probably have 3 in my garage.
Yeah, I found him a vintage one. And
I have 3 boom boxes in there too that have the double cassettes.
But he still goes online collecting blank cassette tapes.
Maxwell cassettes sound better than any digital tape recorder.
They had those cool commercials, right?
Of course.
Is it live or is it Memorex?
That's such a great question. You know why? I had this little, I was gonna do like a blog kind of thing, but I ended up naming it San Gabriel Valley Music Magazine. And so then boom comes the press credentials. But I do write about rock and roll and stuff like that. So there's different ways I get backstage. One is if I've interviewed them, they're doing something recently, they'll just comp them. The other is to say, I have this online magazine. Sometimes I call their guitar tech.
Wow, really?
Yeah, no, really. Like really.
I got backstage with Jeff, but he always complains his mouth tastes like roadie.
Curse you!
You gotta knock that out.
But you've
David
been
Bowie,
there
Bowie
for so
starts?
long. Now a lot of these places they expect you to be there. Where's Joanne? We need Joanne here. It's
Well, they're
just
not
like
surprised. Nobody.
you get invited to so much.
I
so
invite
many events.
myself.
Joanne, ever interview Bowie or any Bowie's
No,
people?
oh my gosh. I wish I just learned changes on the piano.
Wow. Lou Reed. Are the Lou Reed stars? Hold
Lou
on.
Reed, yes. Lou Reed we did for United Airlines.
He was famously grumpy. What did you think of him?
Well, again, he just finished a nice project and he was happy for those 15 minutes.
Oh.
You know? So, yeah, he was cool. But yeah,
you know
backstage, I don't do a lot of backstage anymore because now, like, if I want to, like, call them and interview them and have them play guitar in front of me for 10 minutes, it's better than putting gas in my car, parking in a parking lot, walking 15 minutes, getting in, going, you know, and then sitting, 500 yards back.
Wow.
So I've become a concert snob. So.
Oh.
No,
Backstage or
but
nothing.
there's so much. Just Chaotic Radio's in Rancho Cucamonga. That's what the home is. Hello World. It's called the Inland Empire. We have a plethora of great music.
Studio Z.
One of the other things I do is I have a 5,000 song catalog and I license music to film and TV.
Do you really?
And I license a lot of music from the Inland Empire and the San Gabriel Valley. People that I know, people whose bands you see in the bars around here. I mean, there's some. I just pitched. I actually had a request about 2 weeks ago for a motion picture movie. It was a Marvel Comics, and they were asking for something that was like Tom Petty, kind of Americana, whatever. So I pitched them our local band, Mick Rhodes and the Heart Eight.
Oh yeah, Mick Rhodes. Yeah.
Right, and I pitched them, and I got back. It sounds too much like Tom Petty.
Wow.
I got another request like 2 days ago, and this is for a big motion picture trailer, and they want Baba O'Reilly.
Wow.
But they want it like two cellos. Like, have you ever seen the videos of two cellos? Like, just two cellos doing like this crazy, like this insane metal music. But it's cellos. They want it like that, and they want Barbara O'Reilly, and they want it tomorrow. So that's my world.
Oh man.
So I license music to film and TV. I've taught. I wrote a book a long time ago.
Name it.
Prepare Your Music. A practical guide to making your music marketable.
Wow.
It sounds professional, but really what it is, it's all my notes from terrible music that I've heard all these years.
Oh yeah, God, you must have heard some. I mean, that's
music.
just like doing movies.
Man.
I mean, we probably heard more bad music than good music.
And I mean, I'll just give you some of the chapter names. One chapter was called A&R does not stand for accept or reject. I have one called B flat is not a bra size, which is basically about song structure. Like, you gotta have a beginning and an intro and a melody, and checks do not fall from the sky, and fire your dad as your manager. All about finding
the family.
So, and I wrote that 15 years ago. So yeah.
Have you wrote? I mean, your whole family. You grew up. Was your dad a musician?
My mom and dad were not a musician.
Really? Oh.
Not at all. But I mean, their generation, my dad's aunts all played piano. My great uncle, my dad's uncle played boogie woogie, right? So it was around it. But my parents were super cool because my dad's younger brother, Uncle Ronnie, he used to buy records and share them with my dad. And I don't think they know, but I know that they used to get stoned together. But anyways, they bought records. So my dad came home. I remember getting Revolution, the Beatles album. For a birthday. I remember my dad buying the first Led Zeppelin album and playing it over and over and over. So they were really hip to music. I grew up listening on the Eagles and Logs of Messina. I remember my parents coming home from Hotel California concert smelling like weed. I never knew what that scent was, And of course, I told them or confronted them on it. They said, yeah, it was all the people around us.
When you were 13 years old, what was the first record you ever bought?
Actually, I was younger, but I remember there was 2 45s. One of them was Redbone, Come and Get Your Love.
Wow.
The other,
Native American.
drum roll. The other one was Brownland Man.
Wow, we
Yeah,
gotta
by the
start.
Allman
Who's his favorite song, by the way?
Yeah.
Pat Vegas, I'm friends with Pat Vegas. I've known him for many years.
Oh my gosh.
And me and you were on, remember at Twins, he was having breakfast, we were walking down, and I introduced you to Pat Vegas?
Yeah, and I asked him how he felt. I told James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, when he introduced me to Pat Vegas, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 had just come out. It was like in its third week at #1. And I asked Pat about it. And Pat Vegas told Jeff and I how excited he was to be in this outer space movie, to have Come and Get Your Love being played on this planet by this.
Yeah.
And
It's actually that song. It's really unusual. But see, this is publishing, and this is publishing. This is what I try to teach all the artists and bands and songwriters.
Right.
Money publishing. I know you're married, you got kids, and you can't leave town, and you got a full-time job in insurance, but you can make money publishing film and TV. But that song, Redbone. I mean, here's another song, Lowrider by War.
Yeah.
A lot of publishing money. You don't think about it, but
Yeah.
video games and things like that have opened up the doors. But I've heard some great songs being redone, and there's money to be made. But a lot of the old stuff is coming back hard through all these motion
Yeah,
pictures.
all these, the resurgence of the early 70s.
But the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks are nothing but 70s and 80s songs. Brandy by Looking Glass.
Yeah, well, yeah, I
One Hit Wonders?
love that song. You're a fine girl.
What a great,
With
great
good
song
life.
it is. Oh,
Such a
well, enough to
fine
set a
girl.
sail. And they
Oh, my
explain it
God.
on
One of my
screen.
favorite songs.
Wow. What is your favorite one-hit wonder?
Well, my favorite one-hit wonder?
Yeah.
No, let's see, one-hit wonders. It's really weird when I teach, the students ask me who's your favorite band, okay, and then who's your favorite songwriter and what's your favorite song. That's usually what I ask of everyone else.
Right.
Well, my favorite band is the Stones.
Oh, hands down.
Hands down, the Stones. I just
Over
like
the
that.
Beatles?
The bad boys of rock and
The
roll.
Bad Boys of Rock and Roll, because because they've got that rock, but they've got that sort of country Americana stuff. They like to mimic the blues. So I'm a Stones girl. But my favorite songwriters, of course, are Lennon and McCartney. My favorite song is actually Van Morrison, Into the Mystic.
Wow.
And the reason is when you hear that song, I've heard it at funerals, I've heard it at celebrations.
Weddings, funerals, yeah.
It goes both ways.
Play that
It's
for our
like,
guest.
it's kind of like one of those things. So, but none of those are one-hit wonders. So that's why I avoided that one. There's Spirit in the Sky.
Wow, Norman Greenbaum. Norman
That's a
Greenbaum.
one-hit wonder.
People know that song, but who is the group?
Norman
Norman
Greenbaum.
Greenbaum, yeah.
Norman Greenbaum.
Yeah.
It's on every soundtrack. I think it is in Guardians. I know it's in Apollo 13.
Yeah.
It's just one of those songs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be one and done, that's a hell of a one. I always like Nima's 99 Left Balloons in German or English. You know what I mean?
German. I like the German, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing about those old songs is it was all done on tape, and it was so warm and fuzzy and friendly and
pressed on vinyl.
one take. And
Play Into the Mystic for our guest.
I brought you some stuff too.
Wow.
I have a gift for you, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Joanne.
So while I listen to a lot of music all day long, I get hundreds of submissions every week. So I have to sit and listen to music. So while I sit, I decided to take up a new hobby. So I started drawing.
Oh, I saw those on the ones you posted, and I was commenting on that, me being an artist.
So I
Well,
drew you something.
I think that's how we met, isn't it, down at the Arts Colony?
So I drew you something really quick, just sketch this out. But it's just a little picture called The Jeff Sargent Show.
Oh.
That's an amazing
If you look at the writing,
right.
if you look at the writing,
Look at the camera.
it's Polo writing from like 1972.
Oh, this is totally. I'll have to insert this when I redo my record, my Roger Rabbit
You
record.
look a little bit like Anton LaVey in that picture.
Yeah.
I like the ones when you do the flowers and the paisley and those colors.
Oh yeah.
I like all your little.
I
like
do
all your
cactus,
little
but
drawings.
like in pink and yellow and orange. I'm like really rebellious.
I know it's
with my color
therapeutic
pencil.
for you too, right?
It's super therapeutic.
Yeah.
I'm just so like left brain, right brain.
This is better than I like the fact that you just draw the pictures instead of buying a coloring book. Like a lot of people do and fill in the.
Yeah.
I let you just you.
And I do some weird. I haven't found my thing yet or my niche, because I'll draw flowers. And
I love your
cactus,
flower pictures.
And then I draw a mule you know, overlooking a fence and a couple of donkeys, and I drew a pig, and like, I just don't have a thing yet, you know.
So
When you draw flowers, do you draw them like JoJo O'Keefe did?
No, well, she painted, and I have, and when I use acrylics, I paint cactus for some reason.
So are
Cactus and old barns.
Yes.
You
So-
Jefferson
So
Sergeant
what do
was
you?
turning it up.
So what kind of music are you listening? You have to be listening to music when you're doing this.
Well,
Are you
right
listening-
now, right now I'm listening to an album that I produced. I just produced. This is my full 100%. I produced myself album because I've worked on other people's album. Have
Is this your music? Or?
No, this is a great story.
Okay.
Great story.
We'll be the judge of that.
Okay.
Ah.
So there's this. It's a story, but it's worth telling. There's this store, a music store that's been around since 1964 called Johnny Thompson's Music in Monterey Park.
Oh my gosh, that was the first guitar I got. I sold my dirt bike
See?
For drugs.
back in when I was in high school, and I went and got an SG copy, an Electra.
And by
That
drugs.
drove me to Johnny Thompson's, and I bought that for like $112.
And drugs.
Right. So it's been around since 1964. Johnny Thompson's still alive, and he still works at the store, and it's
How old
still
is
in
he
Monterey
now?
Park. Oh, probably 70, something like that. But so he started in electronics and amps and things like that. And he used to service like venues and things like that. And I know they had a relationship with the Hollywood Bowl at the time. So there was no other music stores. So when the Stones came to town and Dr. John came to town and Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, that was the store when they needed some sort of amplification. That was that relationship. So these people came to the store, and Johnny Thompson has ads on his website of these guys saying, you know, of Big Taylor saying, whenever I'm in LA, I go to Johnny Thompson's, you know.
Yeah.
And they have Dr. John on piano saying, come to Johnny Thompson's. Well, he digitized those and put those on. But when you walk in, there's a picture of Led Zeppelin in Robert Plant and Jimmy Page in the store.
How cool.
So it has this history, which I've written about, San Gabriel Valley Music Magazine, right?
Yeah.
Well, but to go on with the history, there's a gentleman that taught there named Daniel Diaz. He lives in Pomona. He's 70, just turned 71. Danny taught guitar there for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And of all of his students, many of them became famous. Many of them. Mike Albert, who was in Megadeth, right? All of those musicians. And but before he joined Johnny Thompson, he was in a rock band. And he used to open for Iron Butterfly, and he used to open for the Grateful Dead. He was a phenomenal guitar player. And then he started teaching, when his band broke up, he started teaching at Johnny Thompson. And so he's 71, so all his students that are famous, that are now in their late 50s, early 60s, all have albums of their own. So I told Danny, I said, why haven't you ever written your own music? You're a phenomenal guitar player, sort of like a Larry Carlton, sort of a jazz aficionado. He says, you know, Joanne, when I was 16 years old, I gave my mentor a song and he made fun of it, and I never showed anybody my music. I said, well, why don't you bring me your music? So he goes to his garage, and he comes back 2 weeks later with all his papers, right? And all these songs. And I'm like, well, I'm not that good at reading his music. I don't know what it is.
And then John made fun of it.
Right, so I said, well, you need to play them so I can hear what they sound like. So he comes back another 2 weeks later with an old cassette player.
Oh, no.
And he played them, and they were phenomenal. So I produced this album, and everybody that's on it, there's probably 27 people, are all like his former students.
Is it called
Celebrity
Jazz?
Cool
former
is
students.
that?
What do you call it? Johnny Meets Jazz?
What I call it's Danny Diaz Lessons in Music is going to be the name of the album. But
That's
I've got
great.
the Delgado brothers, who are the 2016 International Blues Champion. Joey Delgado was one of his students,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I've got some phenomenal. It's bebop, jazz, Latin jazz, roots. I got Don Avila from Oingo Boingo, came out and played Cigar Box,
Wow.
right? The
Wow.
Cigar
Yeah.
Box, which is a really cool opening for Johnny Be Good. We did a swamp version of Johnny Be Good.
Wow.
So I've been listening to that because it's being mastered, and I'm giving it the final touches.
Well, Joanne, of all your interviews of rock stars, who was the most bitter?
The most bitter. God, they're all so fun.
But it seems like you bring out the best in all
There's
all
gotta
these
be-
interviews. I bet you get better interviews than like the next person. That
But I bet-
you have a way of
Well, I bet there's a blunt. I
getting
bet
them to open up. And,
every interview, I've done like 400 magazine interviews, and I know some people are really bitter, and you can't disguise that. And who was the most bitter person?
Well, I didn't have a bitter, but I got a call because I ask ahead of time what they know, what they like, what do they want to talk about, all these things. So I do my homework, but one thing is I did John Mayall, the Blues Breakers, and Walter Trout, and I actually did them together, right? But when I was thinking about John Mayall, I had heard that he was really eccentric, and kind of out there sometimes. So I thought, okay. So I interviewed him, John Mayall, and then Walter Trout separately for like 20 minutes, and then together because they played together for 7 or 8 years. I don't know. They had a career. And I had the Delgado brothers who had written a few songs that John Mayall did, and then I had Sam Avila, who's a local.
I know Sammy and Danny and his son Danny.
Right,
he's a great guitar player.
Still, and so I interviewed them. So we go down. We had moved to a new building, and the old studio was maybe like 5 blocks away. So we're still using the old studio downstairs in a building. We go down there. We took 2 cars, put everybody, like 10 of us, took 2 cars, go down, do the interviews, spend a couple hours there. It's a long day. We get back in the cars, we're about ready to go back to the office, and John Mayall opens the trunk of our car, and he gets in the back, and he says, "I'm just going to ride in the back." And we're like, what the? And so Sam Avila was with me, and Joey Delgado was with me. We had 2 cars, and he's like, well, I want to be in this car. I just want to ride in the back. He pulls the trunk down, and so there we drive like a mile back to the office, and he gets out of the car. He opens the trunk, gets out of the car, so it was a great interview. Of course, my boss is pulling up, going, what the hell is he's John Mayall getting out of the trunk of the car? And I mean, that was, and I swear, I have witnesses. Joey Delgado, Sam Avila was there, he did. But it was a great interview and a great storyteller. The one who talked the most was Ray Manzarek. I think the most bitter, I think, gosh, I hate to say anything bad, but
please, no.
But I think I need to write this coffee table book. I think Melissa Etheridge was a little bit of a pill.
Right.
But we all have our bad days. Because people ask me, I heard so-and-so is like awful or whatever. And I tell people, look, I've had bad days. You ever know me to always have a good day? I go, so, we're all human beings, we have good days and bad days. But that one was a little bit difficult to get through. Yeah, so, I would probably say Melissa, but I think there was some things going on. Kenny Loggins is a very emotional person. If you listen to his songs, he's got Danny's song, and, right, he's got all these sentimental songs. And so when we interviewed him, he was waiting for his son. I could feel there was turmoil between his, I don't know, maybe 17 to 22-year-old son at the time, I don't know, at Crosby. And so he was like, you could just see the anxiety. And so he was in the booth, and anyway, so we asked him a question about a song he'd written called The Wedding Ring. It was about, he had been married once before, so he never wanted to get a ring. And he remarried, and finally, after 5 years of being married, got his current wife, a ring. And we started asking about that. And I guess he just started getting, when we were answering, he started gushing. He just started crying. And we're all like in the studio, like, oh my God, we need Kenny Loggins crying. Oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble, And I mean, it was pretty, So it's funny that, you don't do it. Here's a really cool one.
Please.
Okay, so growing up in the 70s, you hear the Eagles. I was really, I had a big imagination with the bass player. Timothy
Which
B. Smith.
one?
Timothy B. Smith. Just that gorgeous long hair.
Was that the Indian guy that wore the Indian jewelry?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he's not, I don't know if he's Indian, but he sings I Can't Tell You Why. And he's been in the Eagles forever. And so I love him. He's gorgeous, right? All the women I grew up with, like, oh, Timothy B. Smith, And so, of course, when we get to the interview and walk up to him, shake his hand, he's like, hi, Joanne, I'm Timothy B. Smith. And I was like, I mean, he sings falsetto. I can't tell you why. So, he has yeah. So that kind of, he's not really that falsetto, but he came on this long coat, like a sheriff coat, and the hat and everything.
Come out like Sam Elliott,
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of, like, how do you say?
Hi, Joanne.
You know,
So your Lady Motor went away quickly.
great songwriter. You know him. Richie Foray was great. I grew up listening to Buffalo Springfield, and my younger sister's a big Buffalo Springfield nut. She's got all the box sets and everything. So I go to interview him. I think it's like the Canyon Inn, right? And I'm asking these questions about Buffalo Springfield and back then, and he's not like remembering dates and everything kind of. And my sister's there. You did that song in 1972. You did it with this person. This person was on the drums, and this person, and you toured here. And he was just stunned. He was just stunned. It was like I should have just interviewed my sister. But that was kind of cool. It was really cool because he was like, wow, you know. I go, yeah, there's a lot of people that really like you guys.
John Fogerty.
No, but I know his guitar tech. Yeah.
Go-Go's.
Yes. Pill.
Wow.
Carlisle
or the rest of them?
Carlisle. Yeah, just
I heard that.
time and things like and all that stuff and a kind of diva-ish emotion I got. But the drummer, Jane.
Yes, Cleveland.
Phenomenal.
Just the guitar player.
Yeah, they're just super cool. I know they've worked with John Ogden a lot in you know, he's a producer now. And
but Gina, the lead singer, never wrote their own music. The other Go-Go's wrote the music, so they made all the money.
Yeah.
So Belinda didn't make any
it's
of
all
her
about
own.
songwriting.
Yeah.
It's all about songwriting.
Yeah, now that's what the BMI.
Songwriting.
I know when I made a record back, I licensed my first song I did, and
But hey, hold on. Hand me the horn. Hand me the horn. Hand me the horn. I'm gonna hog this every time Jeff mentions Roger Rocket. His one-hit ladies.
you still have to license through BMI and ASCAP, right?
You don't have to license anything, but if you want to get paid.
Yeah, because I remember I got like pennies in the mail, like checks, royalty
I'm
checks.
gonna do a documentary on let it be on Jeff's one-hit wonder.
Yeah, you know, for like $1.
The Rise and Fall of Roger
I got
Rocket.
99 cents in the mail from BMI.
Now,
you know?
class, if you want to get paid, you have to sign up for a PRO, Performing Rights Organization.
Wow.
ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC.
Well, Jeff did an album called Roger Rocket and the Spiders from Cucamonga.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah. He did a song called Designer Jeans, which is about 5 minutes of
Oh
him.
my gosh! I could put that on a commercial.
Yeah.
That was 81 back when, you know, when everybody had the, Vanderbilt, you had Jordache and Bonjour and Sassoon.
That's right.
I don't
remember.
I don't remember how I got the licensing or doing that, or I don't know how to do that now.
It was the same year Jeff discovered meth.
So if I do another, when I write another one, a license and numbers, shut up! I'm talking. I'll call Joanne and she can help me with the BMI licensing.
I don't think Joanne can help you, but
yeah, I'll help you to like 90% of your publishing.
Yeah.
You want my help?
Because that's important when you publish. You're writing a song and make people. I know that. Was it true that you could mail it out to yourself and copyright it?
Oh yeah, the poor man's
Poor man's
copyright.
copyright.
How does that work?
Well, let me tell you. Okay, so basically what that is to prove that you wrote the song, and the reason you're trying to prove it is because someone stole it and made a lot of money.
Right.
You know, some guy down the street is playing your song. He's probably got no money and it's not worth, you know, suing. So the idea is, and you know, like I just had somebody say a song was written similar to hers. But the theme was like turn down the lights. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, this is a big theme. I've heard in my line of work, you know, I've heard, you know, 10 times more than anybody else as far as music, regular fan. I said, it's a common theme. I said, but if you still think, you know, it's somebody has, you know, stole a song from you, you've got to prove that they had access to hearing your version somehow. Maybe they live in LA and saw you perform. You know, they have to make a lot of money. You got to hire a lawyer. You got to prove. And if that person's been writing songs for a long time and has published music, good luck and God bless, because you don't. So, you know, it's resume building. It's just like anything else. He said, she said.
What did you think of, was it the band Free? Where you could hear the opening of Stairway to Heaven? And they opened for them. They used to open for Led Zeppelin. So how did they get out of paying for Stairway to Heaven?
Well, the same thing. It was a lot of proving, it was a lot of similarities. I mean, there's 8 notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then starts over again with a sharp or a flat.
I mean, there's hundreds of songs with
Wait,
the same
wait,
chord
wait,
progression.
Come on. When you play guitar, you learn those 3 chords. What is it?
Yeah.
D, G, A. And that's like, 50,000
It,
songs.
it's just like
There you go.
if you take like how many songs have this one?
That's also the same chords for Dead Flowers.
Or even I mean, so many songs have the same structure.
There's a lot of like your history. If you're an avid songwriter and you're published, you've been doing it for a while, and some unknown comes and says, hey, I wrote that. You know what I mean? But so that thing about mailing it to yourself was just to prove to a judge that you had written it and they didn't. But I mean, I find so many people, songwriters coming up and artists, and they do this and they do their copyright. It's like, oh my gosh, stop it. Write a good song first. They'll give me 20 terrible songs, all the same mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop doing that. Stop paying for this. Stop paying for that. You're not, until you write one good song, I don't care. Because listen, if you write one good song, you could retire on an island and your grandkids and your grandkids' grandkids. And here's the example. If you wrote a song like, say, Santa Claus is coming to town. Just one. If you just wrote that, how many times do you hear that locally on the radio, in a marching band, on sheet music, right? In the malls, right? I mean,
99-cent store.
Right, 99-cent store. How about when you push a plush toy, right?
That's right.
Santa. I mean, there's just and you hear it 1,000 times, and it's global. Millions and millions and millions and millions of spins for that one song. That's it.
In college, I saw the Sherman Brothers. The Sherman Brothers were interviewed in a class I was in. And the Sherman Brothers, who wrote all Disney songs, they wrote Mary Poppins. They wrote one of them. They did the World War II songs in the first Captain America movie. They told this great story where they wrote "It's a Small World," and they were going to give the rights to the song to UNICEF.
Wow.
And Walt Disney told them, "Idiot!" He walked up to them and said, "Idiots! This song is going to put your great-grandchildren through college."
Yes.
Yeah, don't give it away.
How about what is the show about the courtroom?
People's Court.
Yeah, People's Court, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how many years that show's been on TV? Do you know how many spins it gets?
Royalties.
It's in like 98 different languages across the globe. I mean, it's ridiculous. And every time it opens, that's a tick, and every time it closes, that's a tick. We call, you guys probably don't know that's listening out there because you're too young, but it's called a needle drop fee. So every time the needle drops and comes up. So sometimes if I place a song, like all 3 of us in here could have a song I put on a motion picture, but Jeff might get more because his song is in a bar room scene, and then they go outside, you don't hear music, and then they come back in, and you hear the music in the bar room scene, you go back out, then you come back in. That's 3 needle drops. That's 3.
Wow.
3 times, and you and I just once.
So when Scorsese,
There's all these little things.
When Scorsese does a movie with the Stones, and he has a guy being beaten up, and the music stops and restarts, that's a separate fee.
It's a different needle drop. Wow. But those songs are kind of negotiated differently because they're negotiated.
That just clicked my brain. Danny Elfman. I mean, every time he writes, I mean, look at all the
He doesn't even write, okay? He doesn't write.
He's hums.
No. He scores, which is different. Okay. You're talking, that's different. We're talking full orchestras or Ovation if you have the software. No, but I mean, it's Omnisphere. It's just like the scoring. And it's a really different format. A lot of people who want to go from traditional music and rock and radio into scoring and film, it's a whole new set of skills and layering. It's like video games. It's a whole new set. It's like, my son's done some video games, but it's layering because different levels equal different layering. So you have to learn a whole new skill. It's like learning a new guitar. Different. Oh gosh, I wish I wrote that song. Oh man.
They made a ton of money.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, no, those guys don't have to work. No, exactly. They don't have to. That's another song, just like People's Court. That song, those guys are making buku money. That is, by the way, one of my favorite TV shows, all-time favorite TV shows.
Really?
Cops. I love. People ask me that. I love Cops.
My dog, my late great Scottish Terrier, who you mentioned the other day, Jeff.
Yeah.
He used to love Cops because it was all barking dogs and gravel. Two things he was really interested in.
I love that show. My favorite soundtrack, and I don't like gory movies or scary movies, but my favorite soundtrack, whoever was the music supervisor for this soundtrack, I loved it. Was Reservoir Dogs.
I was looking to say, Tarantino.
Yeah, I love his music.
Pulp Fiction soundtrack.
Yeah.
I consider, and a lot of people do, the best movie soundtrack of all time in terms of using music ambient. Yeah. What is your favorite, and what 3 songs do you license the most to movies?
Well, actually, to movies, it's a lot of production music, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know, so I do a lot of that kind of stuff. But I love licensing my son's music.
I met him.
Oh, yes.
Remember that one time I sent you a picture. I was down at Pomona Art Walk, and I go, "You're Joanne's boy."
Yeah. My kid, he's amazing. He was actually a student of mine at Citrus College. He is a certified audio engineer, and he also works at Eastman Guitars, running their studio there. And he's a multi-talented genius. I don't know where he gets it.
He was doing something upstairs. There was something going on upstairs.
So my son is in a punk rock band.
And
Which one?
Well, they were called No Heroes, and the drummer's girlfriend got pregnant, so she's gone. So they have a new name.
Well, let's write a song about that one.
Yeah, but No Heroes, and before that it was Full Tank to Mexico, but it's the same guys. But so hardcore, like punk. So he's a punker, and he writes EDM music, like electric dance.
He was doing that, like DJing and stuff.
But he doesn't DJ because DJs play other people's records. He's an artist, so he'll play for 2 hours his own music. Wow. So what he discovered is he's a hardcore punker, right? So when he went to school and figured out all the audio gear and all the tools, and that the bands were always late for practice, and he could write music alone, but it was electronic. So he's like the punk rocker of electronic music. He does this hard, edgy dubstep. Like really, which is like the punk rock. You know, if you listen to music, it's wild and crazy. And he did Power Rangers, which has like 16 million hits. So I got a call from Saban saying, we want to revive Power Rangers, and we want to make a viral video, and our goal is to hit 1 million people, and we want to hire a DJ, and we hire these filmmakers to do this viral video for us for Saban. This is maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I submitted, they said, we need dubstep. And so my son, he was listening to Skrillex, and he had a bunch of really good stuff. I pitched four artists, and they picked him. And so we went down there. Oh my gosh, we went down to Saban.
Over Westwood.
Yeah, in Century City, right? And it's like on Miracle Mall. Now, I'm thinking, I'm so used to going to Hollywood and to these music places, you know, Capitol Records and MI and all this stuff. But this was the finance capital. So we go up like 20 elevators, and these guys standing in elevators, men in black. I didn't know it was a financial institution, and Saban was like a world investor. He owns like Paul Frank and all. Money bags.
This is his fun thing, right?
Yeah, and so he had bought, you know, the rights to Power Rangers and Paul Frank, you know, little monkey. Yeah. So we go up there, and we're in this meeting where it's like, I don't know, the 12th floor, and there's this glass and all this high-tech stuff. And there we are sitting there with suits, maybe 27, 28, having to prove that we knew what we were doing.
Wow.
And, you know, they asked my son, you know, do you know who the Power Rangers are? Do you support who they are? You know. And I was like, excuse me, he was a Power Ranger for 8 years.
Wow.
Never the pink, but the blue and the green. You know? But anyways, and then it was funny to hear the suits say, okay, well, we want this new electronic music. I don't know what's called jungle or what, because wiki woo, wobble, wobble, wobble. And we're like, okay, they want dubstep. Wow. And so anyway, so he got the job, and they hired him. And if you pull up
Drix.
If you pull up, no, if you just type in Power Rangers dubstep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dubstep. It comes up, and you'll see Drix. His name is in there as the artist, and so there's like 18 million. They hit like 1 million in a month, and like 5 million in like 6 months. So he's that guy. Here's another cool one. I have a friend named who's into he's this kind of a soul artist, and he's friends with George Clinton. And so he sent me George Clinton's vocals. And he said, what can Drix do to it? And so I said, so I gave it to my son. I said, put some music to it. And he goes, well, I don't know what to do, Mom. He's like the father of funk. I go, well, they want you to do the father of funk. I said, well, they want you to do what you do. He goes, well, I do electronic music. I go, well, then do electronic funk.
Do what you do.
So we did this thing called 100 Funk, and George is singing on it, and he's just all electronic, but it's funk, like hardcore funk. He plays 5 instruments. So it's like, and when he writes a song, even when it's electronic music, he writes with a guitar or piano. He writes melody, hooks, songs, structure. Right. You know, he doesn't just, you know, he's not one of those garage band writers. He's very skilled.
Name some of the films your son's been heard in.
Well, he did a video game. He did Power Rangers. We have a 15-minute segment in Empire.
Yeah, the series.
Yeah, Empire. Yeah, it's like hip hop. We do a lot of stuff like for Oxygen TV. For remember the show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy?
Yeah.
I have a lot of music on that because you know why? Because I'm Latina, so they asked me for Latina music. So when they take the straight guy and the gay guys take him to the store to buy a suit, they play all this crazy Latin music. You know, but Ben's really fun because sometimes he'll give me some music and I'll just post it on these sites that publish or buy music, you know, or put it in their libraries. So I will post 1 or 2 of his songs and like I'll get 4 or 5 hits the next day and going, we want to sign it, we want to put it in our library, we want to sign it. And then they sign it. I don't even know what they place it on. We just get the royalty checks. You know?
Does Mom get a cut?
Yeah, Mom gets cut. Mom gets 2 cuts.
Wow.
Mom gets 2 cuts because
girl.
Mom gets her 15% for management.
And creation of composer.
And then I get some of the publishing. He gets 100% songwriters, which he should. And then the publishing we split.
Didn't you just tell us fire your father as a manager was one of your rules to test?
I didn't know. When I wrote that, I was 8 years old. Riding around on those tennis shoes with wheels up and down the studio. So I mean,
exclude the mom, maybe your dad, but don't have your dad for men, but have your mom.
I'm excluded from everything. You know, because I'm a gearhead, I'm an A&R person, I'm an educator.
Mom's a
I'm
suit.
a librarian, I'm a music supervisor.
Mom's a suit.
Yeah, but I'm not a suit. I mean, this is my suit. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're down to about 5 minutes. Any plugs?
Yeah, plug away, baby.
What do you got to do to find out more about what you do or your publishing?
Okay, so I haven't updated my sites, but I can give them out.
Please.
So one of them is, and this is all about me, it's ledesmamusic.com, LEDESMA music.com. My music library, I was telling you, I have about 5K songs. I co-run this company called Music Depot LA, that's musicdepotla.com, with my friend Dal Breckenfeld, who worked for Fender for 25, 27 years. Collected a bunch of gear while he was there, and now we have Music Depot LA. Music Depot LA, if you look at any of the TV shows and you see guitars and microphones and amps, we have a facility full of gear that we rent for on set.
Ooh,
And then the other half, which I run, is the music library, which is publishing for film and television. So that's Music Depot LA. And then my blog, I write all the articles.
Yes.
It got lost. By the way, the website changed hosts or whatever, and so I was doing my own stuff, and so I lost everything. I had to rebuild it. But it's SGV for San Gabriel Valley, sgvmusic.com. So every article I write, which I'm writing, I did a whole bunch of stuff on bluegrass, so now I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I pick themes, and I write a lot about local history, which I'll write about being here today and the whole story, that kind of thing.
Yay.
And then whatever I'm in the mood for.
What soundtracks have you put music on, Joanne?
Soundtracks. Well,
Like film soundtracks, you know? Or TV?
I did help a guy a long time ago. His name was Rick Garcia, and I did a lot of consulting. He has 3 songs on, what's that movie with Tom Cruise where he's in a taxi and he goes around LA killing
Oh, the
people?
Hitman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he did stuff on Shallow Hell. Oh, he's got 3 songs on Brokeback Mountain.
Wow.
But I remember when he first started, I was getting all these questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? And whatever. And I mean, he's doing really well on his own, Rick Garcia. But so I've had my hands in a lot of stuff. I'm trying to pitch Narcos. Oh, I love that show. Love
If they stop playing the
Narcos,
crew, it'll be
Stranger
okay.
Things, you know,
Wow.
yeah. I just love what Hulu's doing and Amazon's doing and you know, all those new shows that are coming out. You know, I'm going to a music supervisors conference next week. Last year I got to meet, I think, Thomas Golub and Bear McCrary. Bear McCrary is the supervisor for
Bear
Walking Dead.
McCrary, yeah.
For Walking Dead.
He also did
Right?
that.
Thomas Golub did Breaking Bad.
Wow.
So I'll be hanging with those type of people, you know, next week.
When is NAM coming? I need to go to NAM.
Every January.
I should ask. I forgot last year.
You
I
need
couldn't.
to ask in October and November, okay? Because what happens is all the companies who are association, who are part of the association for NAM, they have to turn in their list of names, like in November, so that they don't have to pay for the badges.
So I better. Okay, I didn't even think last year, and it was raining. I didn't bother to go. I go like, somebody get me in, and I just realized I built a guitar for John D'Addario for D'Addario Strings. I should just call him up.
Strings for sure.
I should just call him in
So get my name in.
and put
You
my
know,
name in.
you know what I would do?
What?
You know what Joanne Ledesma would do?
What?
What would you
This
want?
is Joanne Ledesma. I'm from Chaotic Radio, and I've done 31 NAM shows. I'd like to do my show live from there and apply.
Wow.
Will you help me with that?
I will help you with
Because
that. Let me do all the interviews. I will literally,
Yes.
listen, 3 years ago, I took I used different interns from colleges, Cal Poly Pomona, right, from Cal State Northridge. I had about maybe 12 interns, and I worked at Wednesday, which is press day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they timed me, and they averaged this out. I could not walk more than 20 to 25 feet without bumping into someone I knew in the industry. So to get me from point A to, like, I lecture there upstairs. I do making money, making music, and how to survive as an independent artist. I do these lectures in their lecture rooms upstairs.
Excellent.
But to go from one place to another, I bump into just everybody I've known for 30 years. So I can bring you people.
Okay, let's do that. And I'm going to call John. I got his person. I mean, I'm a one-on-one with him. I should call him and give him heads up. Hey, I got to go this year. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, we can't. I'm going.
I'll work with you.
2 minutes to break.
That was a minute ago. We can't thank you enough for coming.
We learned so much about music and
I have
the business.
so many stories. I want to write a coffee table book.
Wow.
We got to have you back
when
there
I
again.
interviewed Tom Petty at his manager's office, and his manager had a bathroom, and I went to use the bathroom, and I was so mad because he kept leaving the seat up. And then I was like, how could Tom Petty leave the seat up? Because I went to use the restroom after him, right? And I was like, that's so gross.
Did
They
he
left
flush?
the seat up, and no, they left the seat up. And then I was like, but you know what? He doesn't live here. Maybe his manager leaves it up, and he doesn't want to put it down because this is not his place. So I can't blame Tom.
Tom Petty was too big to push down his own toilet seat,
No,
woman.
but it wasn't, so I give him the benefit of the doubt because it wasn't, quote unquote, his bathroom. And, usually you don't do professional interviews in the manager's office like that.
When you used the toilet after him, was it yellow? Did he let it mellow?
No.
Let's get you back in the studio before the NAM show.
Sure.
And we'll do
I
it.
got music to
We'll
bring.
pick up where we left
I gotta
off.
bring
We'll pick
music.
up where we left off.
I got
Because
Drix's punk rock music.
can we bring Drix in here too?
Yes.
Why don't we do the next time? Let's bring that boy in here.
No, listen, I grew up on classic rock. I just
Wow.
love classic rock. And my son, for some reason, is into hardcore punk, like GB.
I love your boy. When I saw him on the sidewalk, I go, I know you do it, and we hit it off. I talked to that guy for a long
He
time.
just, every time I look at my radio, it's on the wrong dial because of him. Not into punk rock.
At all?
No, I mean, there's some stuff that I like, there's some edgy stuff that I like, but overall, no. Oh, love them. Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
Well, that's it for our show today. Thank you so much, Joanne.
Joanne, that was amazing. Thank you for your
San Gabriel Valley Music Magazine. Thank you for teaching us all about music.
Wow.
Give a big hand for our audience.
Bravo.
Oh, I love that. Dan, keep that audience going, man.
Oh, and can I give out my email for questions?
And, email questions.
As long as they're short and sweet.
Okay, what's your email?
Music.
Biz.
Gal.
Gal.
MUSICBIZGAL @yahoo.com.
Yes,
Wow.
you got that. Okay. If you didn't get that, rewind
Music
the
break.
our
Yeah.
show on YouTube, and you can watch it over and over and over again till you get it right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Can I go to bed now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Wake your ass up. Wow, Joanne, thank you. Hey, Joanne, you didn't have a doctor, cousin, or uncle named Glenn Ledesma, did you?
Yeah. I have a
LD
Harvey. I mean.